Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Carla and I like all things stationery. Let's do another pen pal with me. Feel free to follow along with a craft of your own or just grab a snack and a cozy drink. In this video, I am making the first letter to a new pen pal. I challenged myself to create something completely out of my comfort zone, something that is clearly not my style, and boy was it hard. As usual, I started with decorating the envelope, and I had been wanting to use this blue one for a long time. Just never had the courage to do it, since it was clearly not my style. I searched my things looking for papers that had vibrant colors, or something that I bought but never have used before and could be considered kind of a cute kawaii style. I picked up these Hello Kitty papers that I bought at a secondhand shop but never really used, and I searched for some alternative options. I also had some printables from Mochipujo that I thought would be good for the central element. It's interesting, when I work with white envelopes, the first thing I do is cover up all the white with something else. Create a nice background that will make it easier for me to add other elements and details. But with this project, I didn't want to do the same. I wanted to incorporate the blue color into the creation and not just hide it away. I think that this was one of the reasons why I thought the project was a little hard for me. Anyway, once I had the central piece chosen, I needed to find all the other elements. I thought this white and pink paper that I got from a pen pal matched quite nicely. Then I needed to find something to be the labeled, where I would write the address and some more elements to add more depth to the project. Honestly, I really tried to stay away from my preferred style with the vintage stationery, but I couldn't stop myself from adding a piece of an old book page. And I used part of one of the Hello Kitty papers to do the label. I added some more elements, including some fussy cut colored dots that I had never used before in pen paling, and I think it was about now that I had kind of the thought that this would be a blue ocean sea kind of theme for this Happy Mail. Once everything was in its place, it was time to glue everything up. I opted to use the liquid glue on all these items, mostly because recently I got a happy mail that was returned to me because the address label had come off. It made it all the way to the US before it happened, and I wonder if it was because of the type of glue that I used. Although I don't really remember, but it might have been the glue stick. So from now on, I think I will add the liquid glue to the envelope decorations, specifically to the address label, and try to make sure that it will not come off while in transit. Then I also added a sticker to the back of the envelope to add my own address. Once the envelope was ready, it was time to work in the project I would be sending. Once again, my goal was to use what I had, and this blue already folded card was one of these items. At first, I thought having this printable I got from Chatty Art was a good idea, but something felt off. I tried to see if adding a book page underneath it would make it better, but it didn't. I think I did not enjoy the sudden change of theme with adding this much botanical elements to the front page. It would probably complicate things going forward. So I changed course and took some inspiration from other creators. I remember seeing a lot of videos, mainly journaling videos, where they cut a piece of decorative paper and add it to the corners of the pages. So I decided to do the same thing in this project with this blue paper with small flowers. And I liked it. This allowed me to keep things simple and to keep the Maritime theme. Since this was the front page of the project, I needed to figure out what label to use, and I went to my stash and took this little one that I fussy cut quite a long time ago, and then I used a little bit of handmade paper as a background to make it pop. This paper was a little bit hard to rip. It felt like half paper, half fabric, but it did end up looking quite nice, in my opinion. I then added a bunch of these stars, also printable, from Mujibuju to fill up the rest of the cover. And then I glued everything up. I got this new glue stick from a Swedish supermarket to try out, since my previous glue stick from UHU was looking really weird, and I'm not sure I like this one. I don't know how to explain it, but it feels too hard. It's quite hard to spread the glue around the paper. I had some vague ideas of what I wanted to do for the inside of the booklet, and although I did not go for all of them, I was able to try out a few. One of them was using this scrap envelope to make a double pocket. My first thought was to bind it like a book insert, but you'll see later on that I changed my mind on that. So the first thing I did was fix the envelope since I had torn a little bit before, and I made a fold to create the two pockets. And since I wanted to preserve the little envelope window, it meant that the two pockets were asymmetric. Now, the hardest part, at least for me, figuring out how to decorate it. I started easy by doing what I do most, which was gluing paper to the back of the envelope and covering up all the white. This gives me a nice background to work with. I also looked for alternatives for the front part of the envelope, and I finally decided on this paper with all the whales and dolphins. I'm just trying to avoid using different shades of blue. Now, the reason why I wanted to use this envelope was because of the little window, as I said before. Of course, there is no nice way for me to trace it and get it perfectly aligned, so since I'm a huge fan of ripping paper, I thought, why not do the same here? I just checked where the limits of the window were and tried to mark them on the paper, and I started slowly ripping bits and pieces. I kept checking back to the envelope to see if it was okay or if I could go a little bit further and rip a little bit more paper to open up the window. Once I was happy with it, it was time to glue it. And for the inner project, I was quite happy to use the glue stick to try it out, and I'm not too worried that something would fall off and become a little bit looser. I then decided to use some washi tape on the edges of this envelope pocket to make it not only a little bit stronger, but also for the whole thing to look a little bit nicer. Then it was time for some more decorating. And again, this is honestly still one of my weakest points. Also, as you can see, I'm not really committing to anything. I'm just trying things out, and I'm not gonna glue anything right now because I wanted to make sure that this was the path I was following before gluing everything. I decided to make the first page of this booklet a place to ask some questions, pretty much like a mail tag, but without the tag part. Once again, I use a bit of ripped paper to bring out the blue of this lined paper that I will write on. This lined paper was actually from a Filofax system that I got quite some years ago, but neither me nor my partner use this type of colorful writing sheets, so I saved them all these years to include them in projects. And since I didn't want to spend the next 20 minutes figuring out a nice lettering to use, I decided to use my alphabet stamps to write the word questions. Of course, the first ink pad I tried appeared to be a little bit dry, so I had to start again. And then the piece of paper was too small to include all the letters. Although part of me saw this coming, another part of me believed until the end that I could somehow fit everything in. But I was wrong. So I just repeated the whole process one more time on another piece of paper. On the bright side, this is a great way to use scrap paper. Another challenge with this project, and probably with all the others that will come in the future, is the limited time I have to complete them. I've tried to do this over the weekend while my partner was taking care of our baby in between breastfeeding, so I was really short on time. And I know that this will continue to be a limitation, both on my crafting and creating videos, that I can really only do them when the baby is sleeping or when my partner is home and watching over him. It's also really hard to record voiceovers if there's a lot of commotion around. But it's okay. It's a very nice period in my life, and I'm happy to be living it. After completing this side, I try to understand what to do with the other pages. I always try to make my projects in a way that allows me to include as much things as possible. I am and always will be a fan of multiple pockets and places with goodies. So I added a small envelope to this page, again with the beige looking paper in the background to make the blue of the envelope pop up. At this point, since I felt I did not have enough decoration material within the topic, I found and printed some more things from Hera, so Mochi Pujo. I am a patron of hers and I really like her style and her art. And I just searched on her Patreon rewards from previous months and years and took everything that was maritime related. So there's a lot of fish and mermaids and nice little things. And then I just fussy cut everything. This made it so much easier to add decorations to these pages. So before moving to the next page, I glued everything in this one so that it wouldn't just fall out and get lost in the mess that was my desk. On this other side, I wanted to make a little pocket with translucent paper. I really love translucent pockets and translucent paper. I think they're really cute. But since I have had not so good experiences with gluing this type of paper, I decided to just secure it with washi tape. It's not really that I cannot glue the translucent paper down, it's more that once you do, you will be able to see the glue when you are done, and I don't really like the look of it. It looks messy. So in this case, washi tape was the best way for me to move forward. As for the scrap envelope insert, I changed my mind on the whole, keeping it as a type of booklet, since I did not know what to do with 2 extra blank pages to decorate or to add something on. So instead, I just turned the larger side of this envelope into an extra pocket. I think it was a win-win situation since I had less decoration to do, it saved me time, and I got some extra space for more goodies. So now that I had a plan for all the sections of this booklet, it was time to glue everything. For this last part, I just got tired of how hard it was to spread the glue from the glue stick, and I just went with the liquid glue. And like this, the inside of this booklet is ready. All that is missing is creating the pocket for the letter by gluing these pages. And also decorating the end page. I finally used the floral paper I had cut in the beginning of this project, and I think it matched quite well with this mermaid. All that was left at this stage was making sure the project still fitted inside the envelope. Now for the fun part. I wrote the letter off camera. Since this was a first letter, it was not very long and it included some basic introductions. I often struggle with these question tags since I just ask all my questions in the letter, but I thought this was a good exercise for me to do and try to figure out some questions that could give me some more topics of conversation for the future or ideas for themes for future happy mails to this pen pile. In the pocket with a little window, I included a lot of the fussy cut elements I got from Muchibujo and I did not use. Of course, I had to include these since they became the main focus of this happy mail. Then, in the back pocket, I added a few larger sticker sheets. In the clear pocket with the translucent paper, I added some of the Hello Kitty papers. And in the blue envelope, some loose stickers. As I mentioned before, I don't have a lot of things with this theme, not a lot of maritime or sea creatures, so all of these were just random stickers I had. Finally, the little envelope pocket was for the washi tape samples. I included some of the ones I had that were blue, of course. None of these are actually related to the ocean, but I don't really think it matters much. I keep having some issues with this washi tape. I think it gets caught somewhere and it just rips off when I pull it. It's not the first time that it happens. It's quite annoying, and I think I will probably have to check this later on and see if I can find anything that could tell me why this is happening. Then, apart from the two just blue color simple washi tapes, I added a blue cat one and two that were blue and space related. And this is it. By the time I'm recording this voiceover, I still haven't sent the letter. It's still here with me. But I do hope that it will be at least on its way when this video comes out. As usual, I hope you like this video. Have a great day. Bye!